today's show, we are going to go over all the rides at Universal's Islands of Adventure. We're switching it up, doing Universal today, and tell you whether or not we are in or out on some of these. We're going to describe the rides, of course, give you a little quick overview of what each one is in case you haven't been to Universal, or maybe it's been a long time since you've been, and just we're going to give you our thoughts.
Well, we have been doing a Disney podcast for a long time, as you know. You're listening to this or watching this, and you know what? It's time to switch it up a little bit.
We're going to add a little Universal to the mix because they have been in the news a lot lately. They're doing some pretty big things with a whole new park coming, some hotels. Stella Nova Hotel looks really cool, by the way. It's going to be like a celestial, really spacey hotel, which is definitely up my alley, so I'm excited for that. And they're doing all these promotions and things to get people over to the OG parks right now, I think because in their eyes, if they can get people to their parks and stay at their resorts, I think that they think they can turn folks into fans.
I love this too because you know what? Disney announced some things at their recent D23, and I love the competition.
Yeah,
I feel like as a fan of both of these areas, Universal and Disney, I feel like when they announce things, each one of them has to keep up with the other one, and I love that because ultimately, listen, I know things are expensive, but ultimately when there's competition, things expand. And when things expand, there's more for us to see and do. And I love that. If they were both complacent companies and nobody was talking about anything, then we would have nothing to look forward to. Definitely. Other than just the same old, which I love, but you got to have something new every once in a while.
I think they push each other, right? And it's a good thing. It's a little competition going. I think Universal always knows in the back of their mind they're kind of second best to Disney. But I think that there are a lot of people that haven't even given them a chance. And also because I think what changes things is also staying on property, which happened to us. Like we stayed on property for the very first time, and it kind of came full circle for us. We're like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. I mean, it's not magical Disney fun, but it's different.
It was, right? Listen, I enjoyed the resort. I enjoyed the proximity to the parks that Universal still has. I mean, listen, you stay on Disney property, you're still kind of close to the parks, but you're not as close to the parks as you are when you stay at Universal Resort. True. Compared to Universal and just a boat ride away.
That's also true.
It's like one of those premier resorts is my kind of resort. You get express pass. Yeah. You get all kinds of stuff. So let's go into it. So today we're talking about Islands of Adventure. We're going to go through each attraction. And as a Disney fan, or as Disney fans, which we are, and you are too watching this podcast, we're going to go through each attraction and we're going to say, are we in or are we out?
We're rating these pretty heavily too. It's not like an easy thing to say in or out because as a Disney fan, you need it all, right?
Oh, I thought it was pretty easy.
Well, you're used to, I think, the storytelling, the immersive feeling that you get at Disney. So when you go to Universal, it can be a little different I think, well, maybe certain attractions are better than others for that reason. But
well, they also say there's a lot of screen rides at Universal, which there is, but there's some screen rides at Disney too.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of non-screen rides, and there's some at Islands of Adventure that are fun if you're an adult or if you're kids.
All right, let's start this list. Enough chit-chat. Let's start this list with the very first one.
Okay.
At Islands of Adventure. All right, as you're entering...
VelociCoaster?
As you're entering you're going to start... Let's go clockwise around the park. And let's start off with the big green giant monster that's right in front of you. And that's the Incredible Hulk Coaster.
So this is one of the most... I don't know if it's one of the most popular ones there. Probably used to be before VelociCoaster opened. But it's definitely one of those attractions that's very thrilling. It takes you... very fast, right out the gate.
There's 7 inversions.
And I feel every single one of them.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not a young man anymore. And
you said it, I didn't.
I know, I did. You know what? You're right. I said it. And as you go to Islands of Adventure for the first time, if you are used to going to Disney parks, like Disney does have some, especially with Guardians now, they do have some thrilling rides, but nothing like Hulk or VelociCoaster, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% in on this.
Oh, okay. This one's a little different. It's shoots you out of basically like a tube, very, very fast, right from the start. You go into a twist. It's 67 miles an hour. It is so intense that we have had people say they kind of maybe lose their conscience. I don't know what word that is. but I'm just going to go with it.
There you go.
Okay.
They lose something.
Okay.
Lunch. I don't know. Maybe they lose their lunch. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I was trying to say something there, but you know what? We're just going to keep on
They
going.
pass out. That's what she's trying to say. You know what? You may pass out on this ride.
So for a second, then you come to.
Yeah.
I have this very fun trick that I do because I'm always forced on this ride. I'm an out on this only because it's so intense. My body can't handle it. However, if I'm forced on and I'm outvoted by the fam and I have to go on, I have a little technique. And if you want that, just shoot us a message or reply here and I'll give it to you. But for now, that's kind of been my thing. But overall, I'm an out if I can be.
I like this one
If I'm
because
not forced.
so there's some attractions that as your kids get older, and maybe the parents out there, if you have young kids, here's some advice. As your kids get older, they're not going to like you as much. You know?
You feel that?
I do.
Oh.
I feel like, as you become older, as your kids get older as a parent, they're more embarrassed by you.
That I will go by.
And they don't want to hang out with you too much, You're a little bit embarrassing. So when your kids, as teenagers, say, Dad, let's go on this, and they want to do something with you, I jump at that opportunity.
Yeah.
And our kids want to go on this with me all the time, so I'm like, I'm never going to say no. I could have just ate lunch.
All right, but forget about that.
That's the only reason. No, I can't forget about that. That's the only reason I'm going on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going on by myself. I would rather die.
It is a very intense ride. It's something that will sure wake you up if you ride in the morning. So I tend to like riding a little bit later, at least like not right away. It will jolt you to the point where
Like if Starbucks is too busy, just go on Hulk. It'll wake you right up.
That's true.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Okay. Storm Force Accelatron.
This is like one of those rides that they have at carnivals.
It's like a teacup kind of ride and
A teacup kind of ride. It's like one of those things they have. Well, around here we have Canopy Lake, and it's like one of those things that goes around in a circle.
yeah. It's one of those rides where, first of all, I didn't even know it was there for the longest time.
It's hidden in the back.
It's kind of tucked away, so you have to really look at the park map and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't ride the Storm Force Accelatron, which, by the way, is X-Men themed. But yes, I would say I'm all for it because it's in between. It's not so intense, and it's not a screen ride, so I would go on it if I remember to. So I'm in.
This one, you know what? I'm out on this.
Okay.
You only have so much time in the day.
All right.
You only have so much time in the day, and when you go to these parks, you got to prioritize what you want to do. Like we try to say, hey, you got to settle down, you got to be in the moment, you got to unlocking the magic kind of thing going on there, and you only have so many times, so you got to pick and choose what you want to go on.
There's a lot of snacks to go find the magic.
That's right.
You
And I would be
gotta
honest
go.
with you, at Islands of Adventure, like Hulk, there's VelociCoaster, there's so many attractions we're going to mention. I'm not going on that.
All right. Dr. Doom's Fearfall,
See, I like this for anybody who's kind of scared of heights, which is me.
which is also me.
The problem with this is I'm a little nervous.
It's
Sometimes there's only one working.
It's a free fall ride where you're basically helping Dr. Doom collect fear energy to power his super weapon and take down Fantastic Four. So there's some story. I do like the queue a lot, which was surprising on this one. I didn't think there was going to be much of a queue because I've seen rides like this elsewhere, and you just walk up, right? It's usually outside. The line is outside. You just walk up right to the action. But there's some story in this one, so it's pretty cool. So I highly recommend you go through the queue, even if you don't want to ride, because I found that it was pretty interesting. That being said, holy cow, it's so intense. It's literally for like a second, and it's probably the best views you're going to get other than riding the train.
It definitely has great views when you're up there, but you're only up there, like you said, for half a second.
If you're riding the train on Seuss Landing, maybe you can skip this one, but it's the best views you're going to get if you have your eyes open. If you're brave enough to keep your eyes open. I don't know about this one. I like that it's not a screen ride too.
I do too. So I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering now that they announced. So obviously Disney owns Marvel, right?
Right.
And Universal's allowed to use these because they've been there for a long time. I wonder if they could do anything now that Robert Downey Jr.
Junie. That's fun.
That's what I call him.
That's what, because you're on the friend zone.
Yeah, we texted once.
Okay.
I call him Robert Downey Jr.
All right.
And I wonder if they're going to do anything with the new movie that's coming out. He's now Doctor Doom. I wonder if they're allowed to do anything like that.
Interesting. We'll see. To be continued. But as it is, it's pretty cool. I'm telling you, the queue, just the whole layout of the ride, like it's pretty interesting.
I'm in on this. You know why?
Yeah.
Because the line's usually pretty short.
It is pretty short. Not many people brave that, and it might be interesting to see if it ever kind of goes away due to that. It's weird. It seems, maybe it's because it's so quick. Maybe that's why the line's not long. I don't know. Very intense. I'm usually going in on it if the kids drag me on, but I'm out if not because it's so terrifying.
I'm in.
Okay.
Next one on the list. What do we got?
Another one with a lot of story, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Now, this one is right in the center of Marvel area, which is super cool. That section of the park is pretty interesting.
It's like retro 80s Marvel.
It's very photogenic, so I love that area. I love taking my time through there. But you're going through the offices of the Daily Bugle, and you go into the Scoop ride vehicle. I actually did a TikTok that talks about a little bit more of the storytelling of this attraction, and then obviously I showed a little bit of the ride itself as well.
What is this TikTok?
But this is something. So it's a 3D comic book version of New York City. So you're going through and you're trying to save the day.
So it is a screen ride. Screen-ish ride.
This one...
Would you consider this a screen ride? It's got screens.
It's 3D, so yes, it's a screen ride. But this one is a lot more fun than I expected. And we've gone... I shouldn't even say one time. We've gone on this multiple times. So I'm obviously in on this. I got to say... When I'm comparing this to something like in Disneyland Web Slingers,
oh yeah,
I like this one in Universal better. Sorry, Disney.
Yeah, but you don't want to do any work. That's why.
I don't want to do any work. That's for sure. But this one's more thrilling, but doesn't make me sick either. So it's a good combo.
You know what this one kind of is like? The Simpsons ride in Universal Studios across the way.
Oh, I don't like that one.
I know, but it's similar style, similar car, vehicle, similar.
No, because that one it's stationary. This one actually takes you around. So I wouldn't.
All right.
That's not a good comparison. Don't listen.
Don't listen to me.
Don't listen.
What do I know? What am I even here for?
Are you in or are you out?
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in on this one. I do enjoy this one quite a bit. And it's a little bit longer of a line. But it's
worth the wait.
You stay at one of those premier resorts at Universal, and you know what I mean? The fast pass, the express pass thingamabobbers.
Let's get our passes correct, our verbiage.
Listen, these companies change these passes, so I can't keep up.
But yeah, I do like the story. I love going in here, and it has a queue. So for Disney fans, you're going to experience the queue here and really appreciate it. I think you'll, especially if you're a fan of just knowing the comics, Daily Bugle, of course. Just puts you right into that theme. So.
It does give it is cool to see the older version of Spider-Man, not the newer version of Spider-Man.
I love it. I think it's really cool. All
right, what's the next one?
Toon Lagoon, Popeye and Bluto's, I can't say this, rat barges.
Bilge-Rat barges?
Whatever, yes.
I'm out. Anything that gets wet, I don't want to go on.
This one's a soaker. So these barges, it's a river raft style ride. You'll get wet.
Listen, I'm out on this one and the next one. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls.
Wait, I'm in on that one, by the way, if anybody really cares to know my answer.
Are you?
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's fun. Most days at Universal, most days in Central Florida, it's hot, so I'm in. I mean, it's a good, refreshing kind of thing. There's not a big drops. You will get wet. Not as wet, though, as this next one.
So here's two stories I got for the next one. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls, 2 stories.
Say that 5 times.
That is hard to say. Number 1, our kids went on one time and they didn't know about it.
Wait, they thought they were going on the other one.
They thought they were going on the other one, and they thought they were going on the one that was you get less wet on. And let me tell you, they got soaked. They got so soaked, they paid with their own money to go into those drying machines they have at Universal.
They didn't even ask us. They were like...
They spent a half an hour in the drying machine trying to get dry. So if you don't like getting wet, highly recommend you do not go on Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls.
Yeah, it's a very big drop.
Story number 2.
Oh.
Speaking of TikTok.
Forgot about the story, second one.
TikTok, I saw some TikToks. Apparently there's some squirt guns that you can put money into and squirt people as they're going by. And there's this one TikTok of somebody squirting this gentleman. And he is giving this person that's squirting him the death stare. The death stare, like, I cannot wait to get off of this thing. I am going to find you. It's like Liam Neeson in that movie where he's like, I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah.
I'm going to find you.
Okay.
That's what this guy was giving this lady that was squirting him with the water gun.
Awesome.
But I want to do that. I want to squirt people with the water gun. I don't want to be getting squirted with the water gun.
Yeah. Well, I'm skipping this one.
Me too.
So... Even though I said it's nice to get refreshed, it's hot. I don't know. This one there's some opportunity to not get as wet on the other one. It's a circular,
Hey, listen, I don't want to get wet.
This one is you're just to your shoes, I feel.
I'm out.
All right. Skull Island, Reign of Khan.
See, now I think this one has the best queue.
This one is very cool.
It's a
I almost want, like, people that don't like screen rides want to just go in the queue
and then
check
exit right out the side door.
Yeah, because it's like, that's a lot of the fun of it. It's the queue.
I think this one's good. The queue is good, and then also it has Indiana Jones vibes from Disneyland when you're going through the queue, except it's skull and it's dark. But I like it. I think this is a good queue. I think this is a fun one. It's
3D again, but I like it. It's a bus ride. You go through this uncharted island, and there's definitely a lot to see, from bats to dinosaurs, all this stuff that happens. But you have someone to protect you at the end of the day, and that I'll leave that as a surprise, so you have to ride it to see. But it's pretty cool. I like it. I'm always in on this because I love the queue so much. The only thing is the queue is so big, and the line is never that long. I never get to really hang out there as long as I always want.
Yeah, there's always people chasing you. Like, not literally chasing you, but like walking really quick like they want to. It's almost like you want to step aside and say, you know what? You can go ahead.
I should get a shirt that says, like, I'm here for the queue. I'm here for the queue.
Go around me.
Go around.
The back just says, go around me.
Like flashing lights, because it does get pretty dark in this attraction.
That's right.
So I'm definitely going to need something.
All right, next one on the list. Jurassic World VelociCoaster.
I mean, this one is all the hype lately with all things Universal. Everybody knows about this one.
Two launches, 4 inversions, 70 miles an hour in 2.4 seconds. Now, you get the 70 miles an hour after the first launch. So you think the first launch goes, and you're like, oh, that's not so bad. And then like you get to go right before you go up the huge hill that takes you to the top of that mountain where you can see everything. It's like 70 miles an hour, and you're like, okay, this is intense.
The best part of this coaster is going with someone that has never been. Because it's just like an unforgettable experience.
The best part of this coaster is going with you.
That too.
That's amazing.
I'm not going to lie. This one is so intense that my heartbeat races just getting in front of the queue itself. And there's a lot of convincing that has to happen, even though once I ride it, I'm so happy and proud of myself. But it just that initial, there's just a lot of just fear in me when I'm near this attraction. I just know it's coming. It's really scary. It's really intense. I don't love coasters that don't have anything harnessing you around your shoulders, especially ones that go upside down. So that's an issue for me.
This one felt more secure than I thought it was going to when I heard it didn't have shoulder harnesses.
I'll give them that. It's very safe. It feels very safe, but I still can't get over it. It's just, I guess for those that love coasters and that feeling of flying, it's very freeing. But to me, I don't love
Are you
that.
in it or are you out on it?
Get back to you.
I'm in. This is one of the greatest rides anybody's ever built in the US that I know of.
I don't know, but there's another one that I think is even better. But I think with this one,
I know where you're going, but I still think this one to me beats the one you're going to talk about. Because of the intensity of the no shoulder harnesses. You really do feel like maybe two or three times, you really do feel like you're going to fall out of this.
This is the one coaster that I really feel like I need a doctor to check me up right before I go on. Like, I just need a quick checkup. Like,
am I okay to go on?
Can you check my blood? I don't care how old you are. Like, can you check my blood work, my heartbeat, like all of that before I go on? Then I'm okay. Because when I was riding this recently, there was this adorable little girl with red ribbons in her hair, and she was so cute. She was with her dad. She was so pumped to ride this. Anyhow, while we were riding it, I didn't know that this was it until after we got off the ride. But at one point, you're talking about the second kind of part of intensity. It's that intense, and I saw a red beam coming to my eye, and it was so fast that I thought it was just like a beam of light. Turns out, and I really thought like something was happening to me, but turns out it was the red ribbon that flew off the kid's head. But it's that intense. I'm like, oh man, is this intense. It? I'm going to die. I guess there's better ways to die, right? Not better ways. This is the best way.
And I don't know if it's the best way.
But anyway, yeah.
It's an intense way to die, that's for sure.
It's face your fears.
Yeah. All right, next one on the list.
All right.
What is it?
Flyers that we can never go on.
The Pteranodons flyers. We don't have little kids, so we have to wait till,
Can they redo this? There was rumors that, or I think I saw something about these changing in the near future. I'm not 100% sure, but you only have to have 2 people, but one has to be a small child. There's rules. They don't break them. It's for the safety of the ride. It can be, any brother, whatever, cousin. It has to be a small child between, I think it's like 36 to 56 inches, and that's it. Otherwise, it's a no-go for you as an adult, and it's such a bummer because I would be so in on this. I haven't even gone on, and I'm telling you, I'd be so in on it because it just looks so beautiful. Like a relaxed, like they should make, so everyone has told me one thing that Universal lacks is kind of like a people mover version, right? So in Walt Disney World, they have an attraction, the people mover, where you can relax a little bit. It's entertaining in the sense of that you go through the park and a section of Tomorrowland rather, and it's a nice way to unwind, right? Yet still being immersed. I think this could be that if they did it for adults.
That's true. Or the Seuss ride, it could be that too. The Seuss ride is kind of like that.
Yeah, not long enough.
But I'm out on this because I can't get on. My kids aren't little.
Jurassic Park River Adventure.
Now, this is a fun one. This is a boat ride. Now, this is a boat ride where you don't get extremely wet. You get a little wet, but you can kind of block yourself if you have a bag or a hat or something where you don't get super wet. And it brings you through the world of Jurassic. That's how I like to say it.
Yeah.
And then you go up down this big giant fall and splashes water everywhere.
Wow.
Was that a good description? They should hire me to describe these rides.
They're going to after that. Yeah. Like, that was beautiful description. You should go around and just showcase every attraction in person and just do your own kind of like.
Maybe I'll do that on TikTok.
You know what I mean? To every guest.
Say, listen, see right behind me? This is VelociCoaster. It's fast. Like, you got to go a lot.
2 times.
You got to go like upside down. You may die. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
I think that's a good description.
I think so too.
Like, people would want to go on that if they say that.
So this one is a large boat, takes you through, it is part of the movie. You go through like the dinosaur habitats, but then at the end you accidentally end up somewhere where you're not supposed to be. The Raptor Containment Center where the raptors got loose. So it's pretty scary at the end there, right before you go up this intense hill. And then, of course, the drop down.
It's not really scary. You don't want to scare. Like, little kids can go on this. They won't be scared.
No, but there have been some adults that have been scared, and I have witnessed them being scared.
That's
true. Just wanted to keep it there. But I don't think you get really, really wet on this one. Sometimes on the sides or the very front, I've seen people get wetter than others, but they do squish you on this one. I would say that's the only negative. We're a family of 5, and we're not the tiniest adults, and we all are put in one row with other strangers, like 2 people usually.
Talk about awkward.
Yeah, it's not the best feeling, but I think that prevents everybody from getting wet.
So what you're saying is, if you go on this, you should man spread.
They don't really allow that, but
I'm man spreading everywhere.
Try it. Try and see if it works.
We should all man spread.
See if it works out for you, but I haven't yet. They know how many people can fit. They know these team members. They're pretty smart. They've been around the block.
They look at you like in a second. They're like, I'm a pretty big guy.
Yeah. They're like, nope.
They're like, you'll fit. But nope. There's people going with you,
but my
or
knees.
You can leave. Like, they don't even care.
Like, you're like, my knees. Yeah. It's. I mean, I understand. They want to load the ride up and get the line going. So in that regard, I can understand.
I'm like, I don't want to get. I gotta get squished, sit with strangers, and get wet. That's like the triple threat. I'm out.
First of all, you're not sitting next to the stranger. I am.
That's true.
But it's not so bad. I'm just saying it's a little snug. But
but your team talks. You love sitting next to strangers.
Not on that. I don't talk on that one though. It's weird. Well, first of all, it's kind of quiet and serene in the beginning. You don't really want to make conversation, but also because it's so close to you're so close to your neighbor. I don't think any of us need conversation.
You know what? Even if you are team talks, it's super awkward to talk to somebody that close to you.
That's what I'm saying.
That you don't know. It's like, hey, how are you? You're right in my space.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? Where are you from? I don't really care. Can you scooch over a little?
It's uncomfortable at best. So.
All right. So I'm on that. Actually, I'm in on that. I'm in
on this one. Again, not a screen ride, so I love it. And this one I could go on multiple times in one visit. My family is either or. Like, they don't necessarily love the idea of potentially getting wet, so it just depends.
All right, next one on the list. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Okay, so this one, talk about an amazing, first of all of Harry Potter, that area is amazing and beautiful, but also because this one in the queue is so amazing. It cannot be missed. It's one of the best attractions I think that you have to see. So
it says here, it says this is for Harry Potter fans for sure. It takes you through the queue. It takes you through the dungeons, the castle gardens, and the castle itself, where you'll visit Dumbledore in his office.
Yeah.
Now, as a non-Harry Potter fan, like I didn't read the books or watch the movies, I still love this one.
I know, which I find so interesting.
I think Universal did a great job of this because this one makes me want to go watch the movies and read the books, almost in like reverse order. A lot of the people who go to these parks and go to the Harry Potter part of the park and see the attractions are Harry Potter fans, and they want to see it in real life.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I was never a fan, but I went there, became a fan, and now I want to go back and watch the movies and read the books.
This one is epic in the sense of it's just very, very visually beautiful. I don't know. You don't even have to, like Bruce says, you don't even have to be a fan of the movie, the books to really appreciate what they've done here and being in Hogwarts and really seeing things that are just so detailed. I think that's really where they really outdid themselves. And being a Disney fan, this is where I think that they have really done well because they went head to head with that immersiveness and they won. They really did a really good job on this. So I'm in for sure.
So this is kind of a screen ride, but not all screen ride. It's like 50-50, right? The parts where they show you part of the movie and you're interacting with it, it's screens. But they do a good job of bringing elements to the attraction that aren't screens.
May I say, though, that this one is, in fact, scary because...
It is a little frightening.
Your
phone falls out of your pocket. That's where it's frightening to me.
That and the fact that there are spiders and the fact that it kind of takes you upside down. Don't love that.
Not upside down. Yeah, it's almost upside down, I guess.
It's upside down. You're thinking you're like on there and you're like, all right, okay, and like you just think that they're gonna stop at a certain point, but it continues, and part of you, no matter how many times you ride, you're thinking, oh no, is this where the ride mechanism broke and I'm really flipping over? But no, it just that's how kind of much it pulls you.
That's not the part of the attraction you want an in-show exit.
Definitely not.
Next one on the list, Flight of the Hippogriff.
So cute. This is a small outside roller coaster tucked away in Hogsmeade, right across from the castle. And it took us a while to get on this one. The line can be kind of long, and it's not necessarily the best line. Even though you're in Hogsmeade, it's still kind of not the best wait, I guess. But this is I really like this one. It's not very long, but it's very thrilling. To me, I am always in on this. It's a fun ride. Very young kids can ride this. It's only like 36 inches, I think.
This is a great ride this is a great roller coaster to be able to take small kids on that can't go on like VelociCoaster.
Yeah.
And, even if you're an adult like me, I still like going on this. Me and you go on this all the time. This is like you said, it's not the longest roller coaster in the world and the line's not the greatest, but it's a fun 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it goes 2 minutes. It's like, feels like actually 30 seconds.
It's worth it though. I wouldn't go on if the line is terribly long because again, the ride itself is short. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's cute enough where it feels immersive. You're having fun. I mean, I'm always in on this.
Me too. Okay. That's not much I'm out on. Water rides I'm out on, those water rides I'm out on, but there's not a lot of rides that I'm going to be like, I'm out. But a couple.
Okay. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
This is the one when we talking about VelociCoaster that you were saying is better than VelociCoaster.
Okay, this is by far one of my top attractions ever. With Disney combined, they have done the best on this. It's a high-speed outside roller coaster. There's a lot of surprises on this one. It's super cool because the bikes are made to look exactly like Hagrid's motorbike. There's the sidecar, which is really cool. And you can ride either or, and it's still pretty intense and fun. This one, they nailed it in so many ways because it's got the thrills that you're needing, but it's not crazy intense. It's intense, but it's not like VelociCoaster intense. So to me, even though this one gets my heart pumping, it's not like I don't fear it as much. Like I'm more excited to ride this and can't wait, and I will be willing to wait. Yeah,
VelociCoaster's intense. This has a little bit more story.
Yes,
that goes along with it. This is more if you're a Disney fan and you're looking for story along with a thrill ride. This has all of that. Because it has a great story, but it also is intense. But it's not like VelociCoaster where you're like, okay, like I forgot to breathe for a couple times on VelociCoaster and when the ride ends, So, but This one's like the bad part about this one is if you are taller or a bigger person like me, you won't fit in the sidecar. Like I don't fit in the sidecar. I have to ride the bike, so I've never gotten the opportunity. You know what I mean?
That's what he says to the kids. Sorry.
I'm too big to fit in the
I'm
sidecar.
sorry,
I
can't
got to ride
do
the
it.
bike. Sorry, I would love for you to ride the bike with me, but I'm sorry. I don't fit.
Nice try. I like that. I wish I could use that excuse.
I love that excuse.
But usually when I'm a single rider on this because we're a family of 5, so I have to go alone. And I love going with people that have never. This is the one that I do talk it up, and I introduce myself, and we chat, and then people like tell me if they've been on. Usually, I think 9 times out of 10 they've never been, so I always let them go on the motorcycle. But now that I think about it, are they lying to me?
Maybe.
They can go on the motorbike.
I'm gonna try that from now on. If I'm going with a stranger, be like, I've never been on this before. Can I ride the bike?
They don't even ask. Well, to be fair, they don't ask. I just offer it without.
I should just be like, you know what? I don't fit on the sidecar. I'm sorry. I gotta go on the bike. Sorry about that.
Both are really fun. I've got to tell you though, it's both super fun. But one time recently, I got to ride the motorbike, and we were in the front, and let me tell you, that was incredible.
All right. Well, talking of fun. Mm-hmm. Next one on the list. Let's talk about the opposite of that.
We're both in on that one, right?
I'm totally in on that.
Okay.
I don't even think you have to debate that.
All right.
Next one on the list. That's not so fun.
Hogwarts Express at the Hogsmeade Station.
Talk about awkward.
Okay, this one is so cool because it's, to me, like it's the best part. One of the best parts of being immersive. The whole thing in the story of Harry Potter, right? So you're at Hogwarts Express. It's not a thrilling ride, but it's a way to also get to the other park. But it's an experience in itself. It's not just transportation, right? So it'll take you from Islands of Adventure to the Universal Studios, but you have to have a park hopper, by the way, which is a bummer for those that don't, because we hadn't for the longest time, and I was bummed. I was like, I just want to ride that, but unfortunately, that's how they get you. That's how it's so smart. Like, here's this amazing attraction, but sorry, you need to upgrade.
So I do enjoy this, but here's why I'm out. When they're boarding the train, like as an introvert who doesn't like to talk to people unlike you, when they're boarding the train and they put you in that tiny room with 3 or 4 other people that you do not know, and it's completely silent, it's so awkward and uncomfortable. If they could I wish I could give the person who's boarding the train like $20 and be like, you know what? Just say this one's full. And then we can just go in there in our own family. Because if it was just our family in there, it'd be so fun and amazing. Yeah. It's such a cute train ride. Mm-hmm. In a great way to get from one park to the other. But there's just that 5-minute awkwardness that I can't handle.
Just look out the window and look at all the magical scenes.
It's easy to say, but you're sitting directly across from somebody, like right there.
That is a little awkward. How it's like your knees are not touching, but it kind of feels that way.
I almost wish it was like a real train where it's just like you sit here and the people in front of you and you're all facing the same way. I wouldn't care if there was other people.
But it wouldn't be like the movie. Or the books.
Listen, some things don't need to be factual.
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay?
I understand. I do get a little awkward only because I know how uncomfortable you are, and the silence is it's tough because no one really wants to talk, but at the same time, it's so quiet in the very, very beginning before it actually gets going that you almost feel like somebody should talk. It's weird.
Yeah, and it's listen, I love you. But your team talks, right? So there's no quietness. You have to talk to people.
I don't like dead air.
Right. And a minute feels like an hour.
Yeah.
When there's nothing happening.
I'm trying to get better at that, but I definitely don't like dead air. But what it does help is typically it is very hot. And once you get into the train, it's nice and cool. So I think I'm just catching my breath.
That's true.
So you don't necessarily always need to make conversation, maybe. I don't know.
So I want to be in. If I could slip the gentleman a 20 and just go in my own cabin, I'm in. Mm-hmm. And you're in already.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. Seuss Landing. You love the Seuss area in Islands of Adventure.
I do.
The high in the sky Seuss trolley train ride.
Yep. My favorite.
Now, why is this your favorite?
I'm in on this because it's beautiful. It's a trolley train that takes you all the way around Seuss Landing, and to me, it's fun. It's colorful. It's bright. It's got a fun story of the Sneetches, and you get to learn. I'm in it for the color scheme.
This is a cute train ride, especially if you have little kids. This is a great one to go on. And it has pretty good views when you're up there, too. That's another thing that I like about this is, like, you can sit up there, and this is almost kind of like what you were talking about, the People Mover in Disney.
Similar. I wish that it was maybe a little longer, or maybe it would be cool if you got to have, like, I love the People Mover, how you get to get your own cart where you're with your own family. So it's like fun and relaxing. But I love this one. I'm always in. The kids know it. If there's a wait, I'm waiting.
It's a pretty long wait sometimes.
They don't love it, and I don't care.
This is one of those rides that doesn't move people very quickly. Mm-hmm. So if there is a 30-minute wait, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people in line, but it will be a 30-minute wait.
The next one, too, all of Seuss Landing, by the way, just is so underrated in so many ways. I think that this one is one of my favorite areas of any park. Just the colorful, it makes me, I'm a big candy lover, and I love just like being here and maybe grabbing a sweet and just really being immersed in the story. So, but it's underrated. So, all right, I'm in. Are you?
Excuse me. I'm in.
Caro Seussel.
I mean, you made me go on this one time, and it was kind of awkward, but, you know, it was fun once you get past the awkwardness of being a grown man on the carousel.
I did make you go on this.
You did. And it's one of those things that there wasn't a lot of people on, so it was really awkward at that point. But, you know, sometimes you got to take one for the team.
I like it. There's also benches for those that don't want to have the up and down motion. I like it. It's, again, super colorful. It's funny to see the creatures. It makes me happy to go on here, so I'm always down.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out on that, unless you make me, but I'm gonna try to be out.
I'm pretty much make Bruce go on every single one of these, and I'm in on every single one. Let's just make this really quick. So next one, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Yes, it's for younger kids, kind of like I would say, if you have to compare it to like a Disney
Aladdin ride
attraction,
Aladdin carpet ride,
Dumbo, those kind of rides. But I'm so in on it. Sometimes it's kind of weird because like I'm the only adult in line.
Yeah, and I'm definitely out on this. So you are the only adult in there.
Only adult in there without kids, but it's fun, it's cute, and it's breezy when you're up there, and I like all those things. So very, very nice to be.
All right, next one on the list.
Cat in the Hat.
I'm in on this one.
This one, again, can't get enough of. It's a nice, slow-moving ride with lots of story, lots of color. Kind of gives me the what does it remind me of? Kind of reminds me of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh or Mr. Toad's in Disneyland. Similar to that. That's
what it feels like when I'm on here. So I very much love that, and I love the story. And again, gentle, must do. Never a long line.
No, the line goes pretty quick on this. This is one of those rides that moves people through pretty quick. So it's usually 15 minutes, maybe tops. And
this one never. Everywhere. I think Seussland in general is underrated. I don't really ever see it so busy. I mean, there are a few attractions that may have longer lines than others, but for the most part, it's pretty quick. Maybe because it's easier to load the vehicles than other attractions here. I don't know, but I really love it. All right, we skipped two. One is the Mystic Fountain, not mountain. That is just not necessarily any kind of attraction that you can ride, but it's just like a fun little fountain that's interactive. Very, very funny. Don't miss it if you're there, because I think it's, again, something underrated. Another surprise. For those that are Disney fans, I think that they're always looking for certain magic elements at the parks, and they want to feel immersed, and that's one of them. And unfortunately for now, this is being released in 2024. We're kind of saying RIP to Poseidon's Fury.
I liked Poseidon's Fury.
That was a really good one.
It was a different kind of ride. It was like you walked through and there was a guide telling you a story, and they had different rooms, and in each room there was a different story and different features of that story that was shown. And I don't know. I just felt like sometimes you go in there and you're like, I don't want to do this. But then it's like it gets exciting, and at the end with all the fire and flames and everything, it was like pretty fun.
I loved it. And I'm sad to see it go. I'm curious to see what's going on with it. We'll see. To be continued.
Also, one of the best looking attractions from outside. The building itself is pretty epic.
It is. They did a really, the architecture, the way that it's built, it's like rivals anything Disney has done. I mean, they did really well. And now it makes me more excited to see what Epic is going to be like, because they obviously can do things like that very well.
I'm excited too. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Let us know. Question of the show, Connie.
What's that, Bruce?
What is your favorite attraction in Islands of Adventure?
Okay.
You can drop it if you're watching this or listening to this on Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube. Drop a comment. your favorite attraction in Islands of Adventure and see if it matches ours.
I like it.
Yeah. Question of the show. I always like to end the show with the question of the show.
I know you do, and I always forget.
Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We'll see you right back here next time, everyone.
Bye, everybody.